So the dub for 2.5 Dimensional Seduction came out recently, and I decided to give it a watch. I heard that essentially it was Temu My Dress Up Darling, and while I can definitely see where people got that from, the comparison doesn't really hold up on closer inspection. MDD falls more into a shoujo romance, while 2.5 is more straight up fan service. You can just look at the dynamic between both the male and female characters. One has both characters having unorthodox interests that they bond over, which blossoms into us wanting to see these characters get together when their feelings for each other truly set in. The other is window dressing that allows us to see our lady of the hour in different suggestive outfits and positions for the pleasure of both the audience and the MC. Don't interpret that at me saying that's a problem, they're just two different shows with two different priorities. MDD has that too, but you can tell that's not the only thing it has going for it based off of the first couple episodes if you watch it. However, I heard through the grapevine that 2.5D wasn't accepted all that well because it had a lot of censorship. Knowing that information, I decided to watch it with the manga pulled up on my second monitor, and oh boy, I feel bad for you fans of the source material, waiting for something you like to get adapted only for it to get cut off at the knees. Nudity has been completely excised, certain frames are shown from a different angle or have something in the foreground covering it up, the screen has been pulled up to not show anything too risque, and some scenes have just been outright cut. They went through about 3 chapters in one episode due to the amount of cuts they made.
It's so cringe.
I'll be honest, I think you 2.5D fans are sitting in the same boat as the Hell's Paradise fans. You both got screwed out of a good adaptation. Hell's Paradise had maybe 1.5 episodes that were really well animated, and the rest just fell off because MAPPA didn't have anyone that could consistently stay on the project. And it shows, with them not even being able to color in people's glasses. It's a complete mess that most likely upsets the fans of the source material because the people might see this and decide not to pick up the source material as a result. What bugs me about this is the reason it's probably been done this way. I understand that anime is just one big commercial for the source material and the point is to attract outside people to it. But I think you'd want to make sure that people know about what takes up about 50% of that source material. Maybe it was to get a lower age rating to air it on primetime TV hours. Personally, I don't think it would be worth it. I couldn't see something like that happening to interspecies reviewers, where they actually added content to the source material that made it too hot for the English dub. That's why it got cancelled in one episode. Honestly, it sounds like Studio Passion should have done the adaptation, but they're probably busy with Spice and Wolf or something. The thing is, I know JC staff is capable of making a fanservice heavy show. They've done it before with shows I'm quite fond of like Freezing. Hell, it even got 2 seasons and some OVAs. In all fairness, that was over a decade ago when that came out. People might say, why decide to talk about this in regards to cheap fan service? I like stuff to be able to get the best chance to succeed. In the same way, I want proper adaptations for stuff that I like. I gotta keep that same energy when it's stuff I don't necessarily care about or have much investment in. I'll take a shot in the dark since I haven't really finished the show since the dub is being released weekly, but with what I've seen so far, fanservice is definitely a core aspect just going off of its name, premise, relations between the characters, and content. You essentially strip away what most of the show is when you start doing censorship like this, the same way it would be if you did it to Prison School or High School DxD. But there are definitely some examples of where I'd say you don't really strip away the heart of the show by taking away all of the explicit parts. 2 examples I can think of off the top of my head are Kobayashi's Dragon Maid and Bluer Than Indigo. I actually didn't know Dragon Maid had any nudity in it until a friend told me and I checked it out for myself. But even with it gone, the anime adaptation is still able to be a very funny and engaging slice-of-life comedy. As for Bluer Than Indigo, it could get more explicit, but not as much as it did in the manga. And it leans way more heavy into the romance at its core, as we see the relationship between our 2 main characters developing in between harem shenanigans. You still get a very touching and loving romance with some comedy sprinkled in. Hey, funny enough, that was also animated by JC staff. Anyway, that's all I had to say. It's been in my mind for about a week, but I'll keep watching to see if there's actually something that can pull me in like with MDD. I'm Mr. SP, thank you for watching and see you next time.